Ladies and gentlemen, we are back with another live stream for you on a Wednesday night, June 18th. Our special guest tonight is a frequent on the channel because he literally co-created this channel.
I know,
with
isn't it
Tyler and
ridiculous?
I.
I'm a guest on my own channel because I haven't
Yeah,
been
he's
on
a
the
guest.
one yet. This is ridiculous. Unreal.
You want to start this over? Cameron's joining us. Look, here's what I'm excited for, though, because you and I don't live stream together very often.
No, we have not.
I was even looking back at last season. There might have only been one stream that you and I did together.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it was you and Ty. I was streaming by myself, or it was me and Ty.
I don't even think it was me and Ty that much because it was fixing up our house so much. I didn't even get on any streams at all.
That's true. It was like August finally, and you're like, okay, we're close to done, and I have some extra time now. But this will be fun because how many drafts are you through?
I haven't done a draft in like 2 weeks, so I'm still
you front loaded quite a bit though.
Little over. I think I'm over 60. I think I only have like 6 or 7 best ball manias. I was doing some of the small ones, feel comfortable with the board, and then I just kept hitting max out on like these little ones and never actually doing a best ball one mania. And then I was like, oh, I should start doing these, and then got busy last 2 weeks. I haven't done them, so I'm excited to kind of get back into it now.
That's where I was at too. Was they kept coming out with the schnauzers, the puppy was out, the golden, the hound dog. There's one more that I'm missing too, but the pug, that was the other one where it's like, oh sweet, all these smaller contests. The advance rates are a little bit more kind in those contests. Let's max those out, and then I'm like, oh crap, I need to get into BBM action here. So we'll go ahead and we'll hit the BBM streets here. If you want to hop in a draft with us, we're gonna hit a 30-second clock here, just because it's easier when you and I are streaming, have a little bit more to talk about. It's easier to make the picks that way and have a little bit more to discuss rather than the 20-second picks. It's only one person you're processing with, and you do it all internally anyway. So we'll go ahead. We'll get in a 30-second BBM 6 here. We'll go ahead and jump in 3, 2, and 1. Boom. Look at that. Only waiting on 4 people last time. I don't know if you tuned in last week. I was with Pat. Pat came on last week. 10 people we needed. So we ended up heading over to Best Ball Overlay and playing around with that, which awesome tool. Excuse me. You'll see that. I currently have all the exposures are a little bit wonky on the screen right now. Let's see if I might be able to fix that a little bit. There we go. There, you can actually see the screen in its full capacity now. So you'll see the different like exposure numbers on there. You'll see the week 15 through 17 matchups here. You can see the total entry fees you have on it's a super nifty tool here. So if you're a best ball grinder, Best Ball Overlay is the tool that you want to help with your best ball drafts this year. So code fellas, you can scan that QR code on your screen. You'll get 10% off per month of your subscription here. So make sure you hop in over there. Still waiting on 4 people here if you want to jump in. These 20-second clocks are super popular. Like I never have trouble waiting for a 20-second clock.
No, I agree. That's my issue. That was also the issue with the BBM like that, because I'd want to do the 30-second for this one, just give myself a little bit more time. And I get in and I'm like, I don't want to wait. And so then I jump over in a puppy or something like that. It's automatically filled. And I'm starting right away. So I mean, I gotta be more patient when it comes to this, because this is where the big bucks are. This is where legends are made, is in the Best Ball Mania. No one cares if you win Puppy 3, right? They only care if
you might get a feature on someone else's stream, but you will never go down as a Best Ball Mania millionaire champion. That is above all else. 3 people here. If anybody wants to hop in, you're watching the stream, you want to get some best ball action in. I had a thought about the 20-second clocks. No, I can't remember. Oh, the thing that Pat and I kind of ran into last week was so many other people on stream want to do these 30-second drafts for the same reason that you and I outlined, that you just get like sharper lobbies, it seems like, in these 30-second clocks, which is fine, but not as unless if you land on a Gilbert Arenas night and it's a BBM max and you're getting Josh Allen, Lamar, Jane Daniels going in the first 3 rounds to Gil. I mean, that's but no, in these 30-second lobbies, it's pretty sharp from what we've been seeing on stream.
Yeah. I mean, which obviously, too. I mean, that has its good and bad, right? You're not necessarily getting the values
Right.
in the same way, but at the same time, you can game the board a little bit because it's kind of following that. So you understand, okay,
Totally.
I can go after this stack because people aren't taking, Jalen Hurts with no eagle kind of a thing in drafts like
right.
this. So you get both sides of the coin with it for sure.
Totally. Let's see. I wanted to look at these are only 2 best ball manias we've done on our channel here. This was the one team that Pat and I built out last week. This was I honestly love this team. Because you get, I mean, the Christian McCaffrey start is phenomenal, but then the Drake London, Terry McLaurin, DJ Moore, 3 wide receivers off rip. I know you and I have been clowning DJ Moore a little bit this offseason on the pod, but another conversation for another time. But I mean, that's Ken Walker, Alvin Kamara.
Yeah.
I'm becoming, I don't know about you. I'm curious to hear your thoughts on this. I just want to make sure we're still at 10 and 12 there.
Yep.
I'm becoming much more of a 3 wide receiver, 3 running back start to my drafts this year.
Yep.
I used to be a 4 wide receivers through 6 build. I can't do that anymore. I just can't.
Yeah, it's where we've traditionally talked about the running back dead zone. That round, 5, 6, 7. Would you you look at those running backs who went in there? Chuba, Mixon, Walker, Harvey, Henderson, Kamara, Montgomery, James Conner, Quinn. It's like, how can I pass on these guys? It feels so difficult to not every draft go early running back in round 1 or 2. Get one of those awesome guys like McCaffrey, we're talking about Bijan, Gibbs, and then go get 3 wide receivers because there's so many good ones. They all go early, and then go like you did in this one: Walker, Kamara, Mixon, Henderson, the team right next to you. I like that pairing as well. Harvey, Montgomery, I don't even hate. Quarterback is so easy to punt on this year because it feels like there's so many good ones.
Baker, Caleb, Mahomes, Mahomes, Fields, Caleb, Baker. I mean, come on. Like,
yeah. I mean,
great values in this range.
Jordan Love in the 10th, Herbert in the 10th, Dak in the 10th or 10th through 11th. It's just like,
yep.
I'm finding that I have a lot of those builds, and I'm finding that it is very hard for me to build a team a different way.
Right. No, 100%. I mean, and even you get Caleb, who we're expecting a breakout year from. Michael Penix so solid down the stretch. You stack those guys up with a Drake London and a Darnell Mooney, you get the double stack there. I mean, I'm building so many more, 3, 5, 7 threes here. I mean, I hate that. I'm finding that I just love my team build so much better when I'm going the 3 quarterback, 3 tight end build. The advance rates on those were substantially better last year.
Yep.
The 2-6-8-2 was still good, but the 3-5-7-3 build in terms of advancement was top notch. Here we go. We finally filled up this lobby here. Look at that. We'll take a nice little take a nice little 103.
So
anybody else here in the lobby? But go ahead.
I do want to say before we jump into that 103 is my issue with this is if Saquon falls to the 3rd, I haven't been taking. I can't take Saquon this early in drafts. I've been really struggling with that one.
I can't either. I got. I mean, my exposures here are up on the screen.
Mm-hmm.
When you see these percentages here, these are all my exposures. I can't not take one of these wide receivers in the top 3. If it's Jamar, Justin Jefferson, or CD, it's one of those 3 for me.
Yeah. I'll throw him.
That's why I don't have any. I'll sprinkle. If I get so that's the problem. I've been drafting. Look at you see this 25% Jamar Chase. Those are all 101s. I've been getting 101s like crazy.
Yeah.
So I'm not. I probably should switch it up and go a Saquon or a Bijan or Jefferson or something. But I'm not going to get Chase at any other pick. Like, I may as well take him at 101 because I'm not going to get him at 2 or 3.
No, yeah,
Maybe I get him
and
at 2 on
you can't pass up
lucky day.
Chase. You
No.
can't pass up Jamar Chase. I mean, it's connected with Burrow still, but yeah, I mean, even like you look at yours. Oh, all right, I'll leave it up to you. CD or Bijan. I'm good either way here. I feel like we can't go Saquon after we just said we don't go Saquon here, but
No,
I'm good either way.
I can get my Saquon elsewhere. Like,
Okay.
my Saquon and Bijan elsewhere. I just would much rather go CeeDee Lamb here. I like the running backs that come back to me better in round 2 than the wide receivers at this point.
And that's really fair. And like, I just think too with CD, we forget how dominant he is when Dak is healthy. Like, we look at last year and go, he wasn't great. He had Cooper Rush back at. He was awesome the first half of the year, and then he averaged 23 fantasy points a game the year before. So it's like, yeah, he is the same as a Jefferson. Jamar Chase. Like, it's really, yeah. You just can't go wrong with it there. That's where I feel like with Bijan too, you probably can't, but
right.
And then
go ahead.
I was gonna say too, like Puka, I'm pretty close to throwing Puka almost up in that tier. Like that
was gonna be part of my next question.
Yeah, if it gets past Bijan, like I'd have Bijan at 4, and then I'd take Puka over Saquon, Jahmyr Gibbs, everybody else. Then right there, like I'm all in on Puka.
Yeah, I was gonna say, how are you? Let's assume the top 4 is Jamar, Jefferson, CD, Saquon. Mm-hmm. We'll throw Bijan in at 5. That's pretty. Yeah. I think that's like a pretty solid first 5. Yes. That's locked in. What do you do starting at 6? Are you pushing Puka out there? Are you a Malik Neighbors guy? Are you mixing in McCaffrey there ahead of Gibbs? Because I also don't have any Jahmyr Gibbs right now, which needs to change. But my problem is I keep getting the 101 or somewhere between pick 8 and 12. Like, I'm getting nothing between 4 and 7.
No, I'm the same way. I have not 5 through 9. I have not touched. I'm 1 through 3 or 10 through 12. It's like exclusively that. But yeah, I go Puka pretty regularly though, if I ever am in that spot. And then Neighbors and Gibbs, I kind of bounce back between. And I haven't had to make the decision yet with McCaffrey because it's in the last 2 weeks, obviously he's going at the 108 there, when 2 weeks ago when I was doing all my drafts, it was the 202, 203 that you're getting him at, and there it's like the auto click every single time. But yeah, I'd probably throw McCaffrey ahead of Nico, Amon-Ra, and Brian Thomas. They're the next 3 then after Chris McCaffrey. So I think it's definitely like Neighbors, Puka, CMC as a tier, and then Nico, Amon-Ra, Brian Thomas as a tier, and then I go Genty, Devon A. Chan, kind of Drake London-esque.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I have such a hard time trying to place Christian McCaffrey. I'll get us back here because we're going to be on the clock in a few. We can kind of look over our picks. Yeah, I mean, I love all the players in this range. I'm not upset with anybody here. Nope. I think my leaning would be to take a running back though here if we were to take any player. Because this whole Garrett Wilson to Devontae Adams tier,
pretty flat.
Pick your flavor. Pick your flavor. This is an easy JT for me. I don't know about you.
Yeah, I've been actually mixing in some more Josh Jacobs.
I do like Josh Jacobs here too.
I'm a big believer in him, but yeah, if JT's on the clock, he's been a pretty auto pick.
He's
for me.
I mean, and I know they're back to back in rankings, but the fact you can get Devon Achane early second and Jonathan Taylor late second, though Devon Achane I like early second, but to me Jonathan Taylor belongs closer in this Vlad McConkey, Brock Bowers, T Higgins kind of range.
Well, 100%, especially if we get Wilson. Especially if we get a full Daniel Jones season, right? Anthony Richardson's ever healthy, then it's over. Then he should be Ashton Genty. Yeah.
JT's numbers were pretty good with Richardson. I went back and reviewed those, and Richardson was
100%
helpful for JT, but if they have any semblance of a passing game, that's helpful too. How tempted are Jacob slides? Yeah, I was gonna say if Jacob slides, how tempted are you?
I'm pretty I would do it. If you want to talk me out of it, I'm okay with that. But man, that's
Devontae Adams went 3-2.
Yeah.
At this price point, I think you take the slight value. I know it's only 2 spots.
But man,
if we're talking about
guaranteed points against those wide receivers, Yep.
I have a hard time justifying Marv or Terry McLaurin,
Yep.
even JSN.
Yep.
I'm very okay taking Jacobs there, doubling down and shoot. I mean, if we get a nice little running back slide then too, next round, as my camera's going blurry on me, shoot, man, I wouldn't hate going 3 running backs and just shutting it down at 4, depending on how the draft shakes out here.
Yeah, really. Trey McBride was the only guy I probably would have considered there, other than Josh Jacobs. I love taking Trey McBride early in the 3rd. But like if it was Rashee Rice, T. Higgins, Garrett Wilson, Devontae Adams, Tyreek Hill, even like then I think it's more of a conversation. But all those guys going ahead of Jacobs right there. I mean, you could have 2 top 7 running backs and CeeDee Lamb. Like that could be the start right there.
I was say, did we not learn anything from last year that actually the optimal strategy was to have 3 wide receivers, 2 wide receivers, 3 wide receivers through 6 rounds. These running backs were king last year. So I'm not saying it's copy paste year over year, but CD, Jonathan Taylor, Josh Jacobs, a top 3 receiver and 2 top 7 running backs. Like I can fill out all these other wide receivers from here. We'll go on a run and just throw darts, but man, I'm just confident Josh Jacobs is going to score more points than Terry McLaurin, Marv, Kyron, Mike Evans, JSN as he slides to the 310. That's a nice value there.
No kidding.
For Johnny Tufton there. Man, Nico, Derrick Henry, JSN, that ain't a bad start.
No. That's a fun one to look at. That's team 4 by us. I can't read his name, but Saquon, Rashee Rice, Rashee Rice, Trey McBride. You got to be feeling pretty good about too.
Again, potential RB1 overall. Again, only 2 running backs in the last like 10, 12 years have finished as a top 12 back the following season. So it's not looking great for Saquon, but from a statistical perspective, I'm also pretty convinced Saquon could just be the outlier because he plays on the Philadelphia frickin' Eagles.
That's a factor you do have to add in there. He doesn't even have to be great.
The only thing. Like that feels like the only thing I can justify, and I'm never not going to draft a player because I'm worried about injury when Saquon. I mean, he does have the ACL, but like I'm not going to not draft him because of that. I mean, that's just feels silly.
Yeah, I mean, we're not talking. It's not like you're talking Nick Chubb. You're talking, Saquon 3 years removed from an ACL tear, so it's definitely a little different. But I'm feeling pretty good though, because it really does feel like here, looking around 4, there's a lot of different ways we can go with it.
There is, and I know we're going to be hitting that thick wide receiver range too. I know Tet, Xavier Worthy, and DK Metcalf are kind of the top of that tier. But I mean, again, you still have a DJ Moore, you got Travis, you got Devonta Smith, you got Cortland Sutton, who we've talked about. I mean, this is a thick range here. Pickens, Waddle as well. George Kittle. I don't hate sprinkling Kittle here.
I love it. Okay, really you're speaking my language right now. You're speaking my language.
So how risky do you want to get? Because I'm not convinced Kittle makes it around the turn to us.
I'm not either, and we
have to take Hunter or Cortland Sutton here either.
Yeah, I think I go Kittle here.
Let's do Kittle,
and then I
haven't drafted much Kittle.
I'm okay settling for like a Waddle. If that's what we have.
Well, we hammer the crap out of wide receivers. Then.
Yep, 100%. He takes 4 in a row.
This next pick almost has to be a wide receiver, especially with Amari Hampton on the board. We're not going to get any value on that, unfortunately. But
Travis Hunter going there is probably actually one of the best.
I mean, I don't hate that.
So you're looking at this board, like let's say Pickens he went, but he was the best. Are you okay doubling up on 2 wide receivers of the same team there? Or are you not typically looking to do that?
Sorry, at the turn, I'm like calculating in my head who. Look at that dude! Get a Cortland
Sutton baby. Oh, wow, that could not have gone any better.
I thought for sure we were gonna get stuck with the Waddle or Zay Flowers pick there. That could have gone poorly. We could have been looking at Zay Flowers. Maybe not even Zay Flowers if it would have been
Ridley.
Oh man, don't mind if we do. I mean that's CeeDee Lamb, Jonathan Taylor, Josh Jacobs, Kittle, Cortland Sutton start. Oh,
Yeah.
brother. I mean, again, we just talked about Sutton on today's podcast. It'll be coming out tomorrow. A wide receiver 13 overall last year. Room for Sutton to continue rising with Bo Nix. I mean, I'm not going to promise you top 12, but like Bo Nix was pretty bad to start last year.
Yeah. No, I mean, shameless plug. I laid out a pretty good case for him to potentially be a wide receiver 1 this season. So I mean, I'm not saying. I'm just saying that him going this late in the 5th round, or him going to the 5th round right now, could be one of those we look back on and we're just like, we should have known. It's just kind of a gross name. Yeah.
What exactly were we thinking here? What was our process on this one? Taking George Pickens, taking Jameson Williams, taking Devonta Smith, taking DK Metcalf,
Hunter,
ahead of Cortland Sutton, a guy who came out and did it with Bo Nix last year, and they added Evan Ingram, sure, but sorry, as much as I liked Pat Bryant, the prospect, not shaking in my boots at the thought of him chipping into Cortland Sutton's target share. I mean, that's when you skimp out on wide receiver like that. Cortland Sutton is like the perfect guy I want for that team, where it's just going to be volume. You find the end zone enough times, I'm going to find a way to get you into my lineup. Like that's what we're looking for at this point, is guys who can hit our lineups with some consistency.
Yeah.
Like I don't want to pick a JMO, Jalen Waddle, even there's a little bit scary. Travis Hunter wouldn't be my favorite pick there, but I also just love Travis Hunter too, so I wouldn't hate that. But
yeah, no, for sure. So I'm thinking like stacks down the board too. 3 pass catchers, 3 quarterbacks. I really don't hate taking. Like we got, Dak, Brock, and Bo Nix. Like if those are the 3 guys we're choosing between when we want to take, like I'm feeling pretty good right now. I'm not feeling like, oh, I gotta take a shot on a Bryce Young or something way down the board.
No. Well, again, you can even think about Bryce later in your draft and just backstack crap out of that too. I mean, if I'm the Tet team, I'm automatically thinking, okay, Bryce Young, I got to keep him in mind for later. But I really like drafting these guys that I don't have to, that I can target in that range of the draft where the quarterbacks are just thick.
Yes.
Right. Or it's like 3 rounds and 40% of the picks are quarterbacks. So I would just I'd rather go ahead and just fit in with ADP there, rather than taking my Jaden Daniels early, maybe shutting down the quarterback position, but then I'm losing ground on my other positions that I need to make up for. So, like, where's this Jaden Daniels team? I guess Jaden Daniels team only has 3 running backs, 2 wide receivers, and a unique little build through, 6 rounds here. But
your wide receiver
big catch up on wide receiver here because you settled because you selected Jaden Daniels here instead of a Tetero McMillan, instead of a DK Metcalf, Xavier Worthy. All of a sudden, you're really playing catch up at the wide receiver position, which is not my favorite thing to do when just look at all the orange here.
It just gets so gross late too. We're talking. He could be looking at Keon Coleman as his wide receiver 3. That's the range he's going to be back in. And I love Chris Godwin. I'm drafting Chris Godwin, but coming off the injury this year, that's scary to be looking at as your wide receiver 2 on a build.
Yep.
And what you think about stacks too with Washington, you're not going to be getting Debo there. So you hoping for a Zach Ertz stack? Like, is that, kind of what it comes down
Zach
to?
Ertz, it's Austin Eckler.
Yeah.
If you just want to team correlate Brian Robinson, you could maybe do that, but I guess that would feel like with your next pick, and you already got 3 running backs, right?
Yeah.
Like, all right. So I don't hate this range of wide receivers here.
Nope.
I have one in particular, but based on James Tyler's team, I'm guessing we're not going to get. I'm not going to name him out loud because as soon as I do, I know it's exactly who the pick is going to be. Right. Right.
Yeah.
One can hope and pray here, though. We're in agreement, right?
Yep.
Just want to make sure before I
safely
pick the player that I'm like, yes, please at this point.
I will say the only thing that's difficult is just looking at the running backs right there. Like we are not taking running back, but just knowing who's on the, Travion was there, Quinshawn, Caleb. Like I love all 3, even Pacheco a little further down the board. Love all of them. Right. So it's just like, it feels weird passing on him, but the way we set up our team, it's like you have to.
Right. When you go double elite right
Yep.
away and you need to make up ground at the wide receiver position.
Yep.
Again, Jawan Jennings, a guy who we're going to get
Yes.
probably
Fifth
wide
round
receiver 2 production out of for at least 4 to 6
year
weeks.
breakout.
Oh, no. Not the 5th year breakout, Juwan Jennings. No. Out of 65 wide receivers, though, only 2 top 40. All right, on the clock here. Matthew Golden did go. I was kind of hoping he would slide back here.
Can I be honest with you?
You can be honest.
The Diggs Twitter clips are getting me. The Diggs Twitter clips are getting to, I've been sneaking in on Diggs. I'm good not going Diggs, but he's one that I've been.
I want a guy who can hit my lineup.
Yep.
I think Khalil Shakir is a good team fit here.
Yeah, I'm definitely not going to argue with that. That's every week you're looking at pretty consistent points, right?
Right.
You're never going to have a 0.
Right. So I will say with Juwan Jennings here, we should be looking at a Brock Purdy at the quarterback position. I mean, we don't have to worry about that for a little bit, but I mean, we've got that set up perfectly for a double stack.
Yep.
Probably it's probably going to be round 10. We're looking at that.
And to get a Brock Purdy-esque round 10, that feels pretty good.
That'd be nice. What's up? Big Fat Sigma.
Yes, sir.
Love it when Big Fat Sigma's in the chat. Going to be doing this next season an in-person draft with my family. If you could choose out of the 8 spots in the draft, which one would be your favorite to choose from? So picks 1 through 8. Where would you prefer to be? I know where I would prefer to be, but I want your thoughts first.
Scroll up to the top of the board for me quick so I can look at. I know redraft wise, right? It's gonna be a little bit different, but I'm thinking in there. Honestly, wow, I don't even know. Dare I say 1?
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Because I'm looking at, 16, 17, 18. That's going to be what comes back for your. And you're looking at Drake London, AJ Brown, Brock Bowers, Lad McConkey.
Yep.
You're telling me I could go Jamar Chase, Drake London, Lad McConkey with my first 3 picks. I
don't hate that.
And obviously 8-man, right? The rosters are gonna look pretty good. So
pretty
for an
bloated.
8-man,
yeah.
It does come down to rest of the draft, right?
Yeah.
But I don't hate 1. I also like 8. The fact that you could pair up a CMC and a Puka would just be
totally
stupid.
Yeah.
So I like
the
ends, but
I'd be leaning 5 through 8 is where I would be. I think I'd want to be in the back half rather than the front half. But and you bring up a good point, right? You go in the front part of that draft. You could be looking at Jamar. You could be looking at Devon Achane if nobody in your family wants to take a chance on Devon Achane.
Brock Bowers,
you could still get
a bad pick.
A Brock Bowers, a Lad McConkey, right? I mean, all guys who could be viable picks in that range. So I don't hate that. I don't hate that whatsoever. Man, the back half of this draft is just slow. But go ahead.
Yeah, I will say in an 8-man too. I like targeting the 1Z positions, tight end, quarterback, because you need an advantage somewhere. So getting Brock Bowers there, ensuring that, if you are in the later half, hopefully Trey McBride comes back to you in that 3rd round. He'd be a guy I target as well. Because for me, I think it's those 2 and Kittle are really the only 3 tight ends I really think are worth targeting. And then the rest of the guys
that
is just
early.
Like, yes. Like even Laporta, it's like, I'm going to let him fall to me. And if it falls at like past ADP, then I'll take it. But I'm not going to go out of my way to.
I'm not going to go out of my way to draft Laporta at ADP. Yep. No, I don't think I have any shares of Laporta right now.
No, I don't either. He scares me.
He's gonna be a fun one to talk. Oh, so we got an episode coming up. Gosh, when is that episode coming up?
I got you.
Is it in August? No, it's in July. It has to be in July. Early July, the week after the 4th of July. Players we refuse to draft in fantasy football. We're gonna go off of our personal UD exposures, and we're gonna talk about the players that we have either clicked only like once or not at all in drafts. And I'm gonna challenge us to go big guns, like big names, not like, I haven't touched Alec Pierce. It's like, well, Okay, neither have I. Like, I haven't touched him that often either. Interesting
Wow.
spot here.
No kidding.
We could go Bo Nix if you want to go Cortland Sutton stack. It'd be a bummer to miss out on the double San Francisco stack.
Yeah.
I don't want Jalen Warren.
No. I don't mind Mason as their third running back.
He was. I think this is the range you do have to take a third running back, and he was going to be my preference there. So I'm perfectly fine with Jordan Mason there. Yeah, it was a bummer. One pick away from a Brian Robinson Jr. That would have been a very easy pick to make there. Unfortunately, do not get the slide. But the other thing I'm worried about is we might not get a Brock Purdy coming back. So we might, if we want the double stack, we're going to have to make sure we plug up Brock Purdy there.
Not the worst, though. I mean, we're still looking at a 9th round pick on Brock Purdy. That's not
no, I don't hate that at all.
I mean, a little run on quarterbacks there, anyways. So
and we get our picks of Bo Nix or Brock Purdy here, which I'm very okay with. So
yeah.
You want to go Brock Purdy since we got the double stack?
Yeah, I think that's the right pick there. Yep. Got Indy week 16.
Yep.
Jonathan Taylor. Love that.
With Jonathan Taylor. That's get the Indy there. This is a range where I would really like to add a Luther Burden, but unfortunately we're not going to get that week 17 stack. We'll have to try and back stack this puppy for week 17s. But honestly, that's kind of how I prefer to look at these rather than trying to do it all on the front end. Because then what happens when you do it all on the front end is you just end up pigeonholing yourself into like only drafting 3 teams the entire draft. I mean, you look at our team right now. Sure, we got 3 guys on San Francisco, but Indy is team 2, Green Bay 3, Minnesota 4, Dallas 5, Denver 6, Buffalo 7. I mean, it's a well-diversified team that, we can still correlate later in this draft with pieces to give us a back end week 17, week 16 stack heavy team to actually go after that money at the end of the tournament. Like you got to get to the end of the tournament first. That's the problem when you try and stack everything on the front end is I honestly think you probably decrease your chances of getting to the end of the tournament if you just try hyper targeting almost like 4 teams.
I gotta ask, is my dog gnawing on his bone coming through the mic?
It is coming through the mic.
Okay. I can kick him out of the room.
It's Norm Dog. The people gotta love Norm.
He is currently going back and forth between 2 bones. He's got 2 of them in here, and is just going to town on these. I'm gonna move him to. He's got our upstairs bed, so I will move him quick that he can go lay out.
He can go gnaw on some bones in the other room.
Yes, sir.
Norm, we love you, but dog, you are ferociously chewing too loud, my friend. Yeah, big fast Sigma. You have a good night too, man. Appreciate you stopping by. A loyal contributor here at the fellas. I'm really confused on what to do with Jonnu Smith. I know Cameron is out there moving. I'll get Cameron's Jonnu Smith thoughts when he comes back, but he's a tough, and look at, he's already back. I was just saying, Jonnu's a tough click for me. I think I've drafted him a couple times just because I had the Miami correlation, and so I wanted to set it up. But the problem is now I'm terrified to draft Jonnu because I don't know what's going to happen with him. Is he going to get traded? Is he going to come? He wants to come back to the Dolphins, but
if
I don't know, man.
Steeler,
Arthur Smith,
I'm scared.
He's just a guy that I don't. Wow, look at Bo Nix falling almost well past 80. How big of a what was that? Johnny Tufton out here, low key. That's golly, 13 picks past a full round past ADP. Baker Mayfield, 14 past ADP.
Jeez.
I mean, Johnny Tufton out here you got Emeka Egbuka there too. Yeah, Johnny Tufton out here just scooping value.
Hard to blame.
Dak Prescott does go. I 100% agree.
Yeah.
Hard to blame him.
So
John's a tough one. Where was he in regards to ADP? So he went 6 picks ahead of ADP. Any Tampa Cincy correlation? I stop picking people. You got a Miami Devon Achane correlation. I mean, nothing stack wise set up here, so Just
No.
a fascinating one for me. We'll be coming up
Ooh.
here. 1-3-4-1 build thus far. Brock Purdy, Jonathan Taylor, Josh Jacobs, Jordan Mason, CeeDee Lamb, Courtland Sutton, Jawan Jennings, Khalil Shakir, and George Kittle at the tight end position. Do you have a strong preference with this pick?
I don't. That's the issue. I always love some Kyle Williams.
He's kind of my leaning here because I think we can fill out 2 more running backs on the back end. I mean, Jacobs and JT are going to be hitting our lineup for sure.
Yes.
So let's go ahead and take some Kyle Williams. He ends up almost always being by default selection. You get the we got week 15 with Buffalo at least. But I'm curious to hear your thoughts on our next pick, depending on who comes back to us.
Honestly, it'd be hard not to take Evan Ingram if he fell back. Just the value of ADP.
Right. That'd be 15, 16 past ADP.
Man, I could make a case in my head for going Drake May here.
Guys. I was going to say Drake May. Yeah.
Drake May is definitely one I can make a case for taking a shot on, one of these runs. Wow.
Oh,
JJ McCarthy there.
All right. So we've talked Ingram. We've talked May. Pick a running back here. I'm okay with that. Colston Loveland was the one that I was
my other thought. Yep. I wouldn't hate that to try to get that week 17 stack. I could go any of those. No, I really don't. That's my issue.
Let's go Drake May.
Yep. I'm okay with that.
I don't know if Purdy, I have less confidence in Purdy than the average drafter this year. What stinks about the Patriots is that their week 17 stacking is terrible unless you have Garrett Wilson. I mean, it's impossible to stack that game. So we'll take the team correlation. Maybe you can pick up Isaiah Likely as our tight end 2 on the back end for a week 16 stack. We got the Buffalo week 15 at least to get us into through the first round. But it's tough to pass on a lot of the guys in these with the current build of our team. It's just tough to pass on any of those guys.
Yeah, it is. I really don't hate it though, because the way I look at it too now, getting May and Purdy there, I feel almost equivalent to have taken one of those early quarterbacks, right? Because between the two of them, I'm feeling that most weeks I'm going to have around a 20-point game between the two of them, which is an equivalent to what you're seeing from Josh Allen, right? I still think Josh Allen most weeks is probably going to outscore the two of them just because he's so unreal. But you're also paying a 9th and an 11th rather than a 2nd. So that is what it kind of comes down to.
Yeah, this feels like a team where we're going to have a little bit more of a unique build, less of the 2-6-8-2 and 3-5-7-3. Yep. I mean, we could probably take a third quarterback if we really wanted to. I think I would like to take a third quarterback because I don't. Mm-hmm. It's just not one of these onesies, and if I don't have a onesie, I'm almost going to almost always draft 3 quarterbacks. Yep. But when you have George Kittle, I don't want another tight end. Let me rephrase. I don't need 3 tight ends because George Kittle's probably going to hit my lineup every week. So I'm only probably going to need 2 tight ends. But what's nice is that we front loaded the running back position, so we can actually throw more darts at wide receivers later. So this will probably end up being, if I can get my math correct in my head, a 3-5-8-2. That's probably what's going to end up being. So, which I don't hate either.
No, not at all. It's right because it's one of those things with Kittle. I mean, you're not going to draft in case he gets hurt because if he gets hurt, it blows up the team anyways. And so it's
look at this run of tight ends: Loveland and Njoku, Kincaid, Tucker Kraft. Wow.
Because I think that's one of the issues too. People do in best ball when they're early is they go, "Oh, I draft this in case Kittle gets hurt." But in best ball mania, if Kittle gets hurt, like in the playoffs or something, your team's done, right? So it's like you have to draft with the assumption that the guys you're taking are going to be healthy. You don't draft to hopefully this doesn't happen, because if you take Josh Allen, he gets hurt, like that, there goes your team. So you are playing there is a fair amount of luck. And so that's where it is a little different. Ooh,
I'm loving this board. I'll be perfectly honest.
Yeah, I could go. You could probably talk me into pretty much anyone here.
Yeah, you could talk me literally anybody here. 100% agree. Um,
Are you thinking Ray Davis as the
I don't think
top
we'll get the
option?
slide. I'm guessing we'll get an auto draft here from Max. Yeah,
Oh,
the board Ray Davis. Um,
likely first, and then hope a running back falls.
yeah, so actually no, I think I would prefer a running back because I'm
Okay.
really good with Goddard, Likely, or Ferguson, especially
Yeah.
with Rashad White going there. Um,
Oof.
I think it's too strong of a correlation with Isaac Guerrero. I think that's a wasted pick. I'd almost prefer Jaden Blue since we got the
I
CD
think
Lamb
so.
Dallas correlation. Let's just bet on this Cowboys offense bouncing back this year.
Yep. And him having a role where, like Trey Benson, I think it's still one more year. We're
Yep,
hoping
I
before
agree.
whereas Jaden Blue, right, still improbable a little bit. But if we're talking about running back rooms that a 6th-round guy could kind of break into, Dallas might be the running back room that, it could happen because
Right.
between Chuba, Miles Sanders, or not Chuba, Javonte and Miles Sanders, we're not really looking at great bills of health and explosive running backs.
No. And even if Isaiah Likely and Jake Ferguson both go here, I can swing back and get a Zach Ertz,
Yep.
Washington. Well, wow, as Tank Bigsby goes. So I'll leave it up to you. I'm okay taking one of these tight ends, or if you even want to shut down running back with Tyler Algier. That's my other thought. I bet we could push a tight end 22 Zach Ertz if we really wanted to.
Yeah, I'm okay. Or trying to get a Braylon Allen later on as well.
Oh yeah,
a little week 17 stack there, late, and just kind of hoping for that because he's probably around that range. So maybe we do go Likely and kind of hope for that one.
Yeah, let's get Likely. Let's at least get a week 16 here with New England. We won't get anything Green Bay related, but I really like Likely as an option after George Kittle. A guy who
spike weeks.
If Mark spike weeks. That's exactly it. And if he actually does overtake Mark Andrews this year, like he's just a value pick here that I'm okay betting on the possibility that, hey, you know what? If George Kittle's going to be the guy with no Brandon Ayuk, no Deebo Samuel anymore, what happens when we luck into an Isaiah Likely who's playing number 2 to Zay Flowers? Well, what if? Like, let's play that upside game. So I think we can shut down the tight end position there with an Isaiah Likely upside pick there. I actually do really like that. Like you said, you can get a Braylon Allen on the comeback. There's plenty of other running backs in that 50 range that I can settle for a click on in round 14. I don't hate that at all.
Yeah.
Do you have one of those? Go ahead.
Oh, what were you gonna say? What were you gonna say?
I was just say, do you have like this is such a thick range of running backs where you get the Tyjae Spears, DeBashel Tootin, you get Ray Davis, Rashad White, Jaden Blue. Like, do you have like a preferred handcuff out of any of those guys? Do you click most in this range?
Tyjae Spears is the one I keep going back to. Just feeling Tennessee offense is feels like it's got to be better because I just don't know how much worse it could be than last year.
Right.
Pollard another year older. Spears, they've been talking more like we want more of a 50-50 split. So he's the one I go back to. Tootin and Jaden Blue, I don't mind either, just because both those guys are in backfields that stuff breaks the right way, and they could be the 1A. They could be the guy in that backfield. And Jaden Blue, even if he's not truly like a 1A, he's getting the receiving work out of the backfield from Dak, which is, like he finds himself in like I don't want to say Tony Pollard role, but getting the receiving work similar to how Tony Pollard did with when he was with Zeke.
When he was with Zeke,
you like that one a lot.
The Diet Coke version, but yeah.
Yep, no, 100%. And then I think Ray Davis is kind of the other one, just because it's like it feels like he's going to crack in a little bit. But I'd go the other 3 first for sure.
I have a confession. I don't know if I've told you this.
Zero Ray Davis?
No. Worse. Where is he?
Oh. Hello.
That's 30% Ray Davis.
Oh.
I've got so much Ray Davis because he was one of the guys. He was one of the guys where as soon as James Cook came out and said, 20 mil. That's my number. I'm drafting all the Ray Davis I can before James Cook holds out. I mean, James Cook doesn't have enough leverage. I think he's going to come to camp, and I think they'll work something out. But it was just one of those where it's like, hey, when I can get Ray Davis at running back 45 right now, I'm gonna do it before he gets into that Javonte Williams, Bashal Tutin range. We're looking Ray Davis at like running back 37 to 40 instead of 45. So far I was a little bit correct on that. Ray Davis at running back 42, but we'll see how that all pans out. Wow, I also don't hate this range either, because we talked about a Braylon Allen here.
Braylon Allen would be my pick. Yep, for sure.
Let's do that because I think we're done at tight ends. We can consider wide receiver afterwards if we really want to. Otherwise, we're looking at quarterback 3s if we want to add another one to the roster. Which I have my preference, but I'll wait to see who comes back to us here before I say anything out loud. Because I just know it's not going to work out if I say
one of these guys.
Right, exactly. As soon as I say it out loud, it's all just going to come crashing down. So, oh man, I will say I really love the bones of this team so far, though. Love scooping value in the early parts of the draft and the double stack with Brock Purdy. We'll do a team review at the end of this, obviously, but okay. Can I pitch an idea to you?
I would love it.
Wan'Dale Robinson and we stack Jackson Dart.
Wan'Dale's my Ray Davis is Wan'Dale Robinson.
Oh,
I have an irresponsible amount of Wan'Dale Robinson on my team. Just purely off the volume he saw last year, but
yeah, who knows that's even going to be the same, but
no, 100%. Like it could be completely different, but yeah, I have an irresponsible amount of Wan'Dale for sure.
There are worse clicks than Wan'Dale Robinson. Yeah. Almost said Rondale Moore. R.I.P. Rondale Moore. Hey, Minnesota Viking, though. What can I say? Maybe I got to get a Rondale Moore jersey finally. Finally. We got a question here from Yick. Would you ever consider taking Achane first round half PPR? Would you rather have Achane or Henry in half PPR? Such a tough one. Because I think if you weren't worried about the health of the Miami Dolphins, I'm not even going to keep it to just Devon Achane, of the Miami Dolphins. Devon Achane should be in the same range as a Jahmyr Gibbs, if you ask me.
Yeah.
But so should Derrick Henry after last season, after running behind a Baltimore Ravens offensive line.
Mm.
In half PPR, I think I still stick Derrick Henry.
Mm.
But is there a world where I consider taking Achane first round half PPR? It's tough with the wide receivers in those range. But I'm looking Achane like 1-2 turn though. Like,
yeah,
I think it's like so like for instance in this draft, a half PPR league, all underdog leagues are half PPR formats. I find it hard to justify Achane ahead of Puka, ahead of Nico, ahead of Amon-Ra, even Brian Thomas. Like I still think I prefer Brian Thomas, but again, Achane went second pick of the second round here. Like that's like I'm okay looking Achane at that price point.
Yeah, for sure.
I don't know where you lie on that, but that's kind of my thought of if I didn't have so many concerns around his health and the health of the rest of the Miami Dolphins, like to me, you're asking is it him or Christian McCaffrey?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I actually think I have Achane one spot higher than Henry as of right now. So I mean, I think it's preference. Do you want to bet on the upside of Achane? Do you think Henry continue right? Would you rather have bank on the touchdowns and consistent volume of Henry? Are you more okay with kind of the spike weeks from Achane? So like, just kind of depends how you want to take it. I agree. I think he's 1-2 turn. I like those wide receivers a ton at the end of the first round. The Amon-Ra, Ryan Thomas, Nico, Malik, Puka. I'm taking all 5 ahead of Achane right now. So that's really what it is for me. I think he's right there. So yeah, I'd consider it. I just currently am not.
Yeah, I just if it weren't for those wide receivers and how much I liked them, Achane would be in consideration there, late first round for sure. it's not even the health specifically that scares me. This is fascinating. I wasn't expecting a Darnold or a Rodgers to make it back.
Oh, yeah, that's I know we love the stacks, but man, over Jackson Dart, if we're talking upside, that's Sam.
You go on Aaron
here.
Rodgers, a Roman Wilson, a Sam Darnold. It's only Torrey Horton at this point, but I also don't hate a Darius Slayton here. If you want to double stack Jackson Dart,
That's true.
It's pretty gross, but
it might be the smarter way to do it. To go Slayton, but it does feel criminal that Sam Darnold's still on the board here. Yeah, I could go either way with that one.
Let's go Rodgers.
Okay. And take
I'm okay
Calvin
missing
Austin
out on
next.
Dart. Yeah, you can do a Calvin Austin. If we get sniped there, then Roman Wilson's going to be our 18th round pick. I mean,
I'm okay with that.
That's kind of where I'm at, I think. Yeah, I mean the seven pick slide there on Rodgers. I just didn't expect him to be on the board here still, especially when we're looking at a 3 quarterback team. I just thought for sure we'd be looking at a Jackson Dart, and frankly, I'm relatively confident in saying Aaron Rodgers is going to finish higher than Jackson Dart in fantasy football this year. I mean, I just feel like, to me, that's just the smart business decision here when we're drafting this team. So yeah, Calvin Austin here. You just want to roll Calvin Austin.
Yep. Yeah.
Great.
Take our stack and run.
Take our stack and go. Yeah. So at this point, we can speculate a little bit on who we want our 18th round wide receiver to be. I assume you want to go wide receiver here, right? Considering the slower start. I mean, I'm good shutting it down with 5 running backs personally, and I don't need another tight end with Kittle.
Yeah. No, I agree.
All right. So looking at who we got here. Can go a little Washington if we want. I don't even know who's still on the board for Washington. It's going to be wide receivers, though. You could go your boy Dontavian Wicks if you want a little bit with Baltimore there. Who else has that lined up? Oh, no, that's Josh Jacobs. That's just a team correlation there. Who else do we got here? Do we have any Indy? We got Week 16 Indy. We got Jonathan Taylor. AD Mitchell is still on the board. Who's the scroll the F down guy that you'd be interested in? That's probably the most important question.
Oof.
I mean, it gets really gross really quick.
Yep, it does.
Like Noah Brown would probably be my top candidate.
Yeah.
And that's pretty disgusting with Deebo Samuel there now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, this is pretty disgusting here. So we'll see who slides all the way back to us. You and Isaac Tesla. You got the week 17 with Minnesota and Jordan Mason. You got a little bit of Pittsburgh there with Aaron Rodgers and Calvin Austin.
Norman, stop. Oh.
Norm. Come on, dog. Oh, he's gone. Oh no, not Norman Strikes. Oh, this is legendary. This is hilarious. I want to know what happened. I need an update from Cameron in the chat as soon as it happened. Oh, I just got the message. Norman just turned everything off. So I'm guessing he literally went and unplugged it. Cam's gonna try and reboot quick. What an epic way to end this stream. We're going on about an hour. We're literally 18th round, just trying to wrap out this draft. Luke McCaffrey, interesting 18th round click. Yick in half PPR already have Genty compared to CMC, Achane, Henry. Crazy to take Rice early second round, assuming he's fully healthy. Over an AJ Brown, London, or Ladd. I think I still prefer AJ Brown, London, and Ladd, but Rashee Rice belongs in that conversation with Ladd. So for me, I prefer AJB London, and then you could have a conversation about Ladd or Rashee Rice. In comparison to CMC, Achan, Henry, I have CMC, Genty, Henry, and Achan. That's my order there. There we go. He's back. You can add yourself. Go for it.
Unreal.
That's crazy, dog. That's crazy.
There's one teeny little switch underneath on my power strip that he could hit, and he managed to
hit it. Of course he did.
Unreal.
Fantasy football in Espanol. I see your message in the chat here. We'll make our 18th round pick and we'll come back and answer that. Do we decide on who it's going to be? Tesla. Are you good with that?
Yes, Tesla.
Yes. All right.
Dog ran into the bathroom, eyeing up the toilet. I had to go stop him.
Oh yeah. So how late did Slayton end up going? Oh, he went 17-18 turn. He kind of kept sliding there. I was wondering if someone would scoop him up because he's been falling recently. People have gotten less hot and bothered by Darius Slayton recently. So
hey, got that Saquon contract.
Yeah, right. He got that 30 mil, baby. 30 mil for being a average NFL wide receiver. Yep. No disrespect. I'm just saying you're not Malik Neighbors. That's all I'm trying to say. We'll see who Really Doink ends up taking here. I guess it's going to be an auto pick. We might not even get it. No, we won't even get it. So we'll go ahead. We'll come back into the completed here. We'll go. Come on. There we go. Third team done on the stream. We'll do a quick little team review here and then fantasy football. Here, actually, let's do this. Let's do fantasy football in Espanol. We'll do their question and then we'll review the team. And then Bobby, I see you in the chat as well. We'll get to your question. But for best ball, who do you got ADP? T. Higgins or Jordan Addison at ADP? Keep in mind, not the player you prefer. But
okay.
T. Higgins at wide receiver 13 or Addison at wide receiver 31, I believe he's at. Considering the contract, Addison's possible suspension, I'm torn. Convince me, I'll smash the like. It's T. Higgins for me, no question whatsoever. If you want the one convincing point for me, T. Higgins, the wide receiver 4.5 PPR fantasy points per game last year. I know health was a concern, but if you're assuming Jordan Addison is going to miss 3 games this year, you're probably expressing the same concern with T. Higgins if you're worried about the injuries, right? Got the money without Tyler Boyd. Targets just really got consolidated between him and Jamar Chase. Mike Gesicki really wasn't a factor until T. Higgins missed time. So if you're worried about an Addison suspension and you're worried about T. Higgins' health, to me, that's like you're crossing the two out. And I'd just rather take T. Higgins at wide receiver 13, knowing he has top 10 wide receiver upside in points per game basis. When he has that kind of level of upside, that's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah. No, at ADP makes it tough because I didn't read that part first. I'm like, well, this one's easy.
Yeah, right.
I think I'm gonna go T, just knowing who he's attached to. It's we could easily see a repeat in 17 games of what we saw last year, and that'd be really hard to pass up.
I don't think Addison has top 12 upside, top 10 upside in him. I know you have to draft T. Higgins close to that. I personally would just rather have that as my wide receiver 2 than Addison as a wide receiver 3, personally. So there's other guys I like in the Addison range, right? I mean, Rome Odunze is going in that range. I'm fine with Rome there. You could say the same thing for T. Higgins. I like a Rashee Rice. I like a JSN. I like a Devontae Adams in that range. But for me, I know what kind of upside T. Higgins possesses in that Bengals offense. So Addison just has enough question marks with JJ McCarthy. Has yet to prove himself as a pro. Joe Burrow is an all pro. So that's where it's at. All right, we'll do a quick team review. Bobby, we'll get back to you here shortly, my man. So here we go. Quarterback position, Brock Purdy, Drake May, Aaron Rodgers, all stacked up. I just really wasn't expecting we get an Aaron Rodgers slide.
Yep.
So we scooped him up because the original plan was to stack up Wan'Dale Robinson, who we'll get to momentarily with Jackson Dart, but we'll take the Aaron Rodgers stack. Just again, I'm just confident Aaron Rodgers is probably going to outscore Jackson Dart this year.
Yep.
Jonathan Taylor, Josh Jacobs, Jordan Mason, Jane Blue, Braylon Allen. Not much to be said there.
No.
Double elite running back off the rip. Went a couple of backup running backs with ambiguous, maybe not ambiguous, but opportunistic backfields where if Aaron Jones misses time, Jordan Mason phenomenal. Has the upside to be a running back one for the Vikings. Jaden Blue, we're just attacking ambiguity. Braylon Allen may end up getting some run this year behind Breece Hall. We'll see. If anything happens to Breece, it's a Braylon Allen, right? So justification there. Wide receivers. A little bit bold, starting CeeDee Lamb. Then going double running back.
Mm-hmm.
I made out fine, though. I mean, looking at Cortland Sutton, Juwan Jennings, Khalil, we salvaged that really well.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, some people might hate Cortland Sutton as a wide receiver too, but I feel really good about that, actually.
Knowing
Yes.
you have Jonathan Taylor and Josh Jacobs in the third.
Yeah, and George Kittle is your tight end. So, like, yeah.
Right. I was going to say,
very good about
that was the risk we ran with taking George Kittle there. Was we knew George Kittle wouldn't make it back, so let's get George Kittle. We'll play the game. We'll see what happens. So Cortland Sutton, I think, ended up really saving our draft there, because then Juwan Jennings, Khalil Shakir are Juwan Jennings in early season play. Let's get to the playoffs. Khalil Shakir is probably steady. He'll probably hit the flex spot every week, if I had to guess. And then Kyle Williams, Isaac Tesla are both late season plays. If they break out second half of the season, we're in business.
100%. George
Kittle, Isaiah Likely, the tight position, pretty easy to shut it down after 2 there. What would you give this team in terms of a grade?
Letter grade? I'm gonna go A-. I really like this team. I really like how it turned out.
Yeah, I think my only dream would be if instead of Jordan Mason, could have gotten a Brian Robinson.
Yeah, would agree.
Correlate that week 17 with Dallas. Oh, that would have been a dream. Missed out on one pick on that, unfortunately. I'm fluttering between an A- B+.
Yeah, I
really do like how this team came out. It could be a little bit stronger at the top with the quarterback, but when you punt quarterback and you get Brock Purdy, Drake May, stack them both up. I mean, I can't complain about that. Here we go, Bobby in the chat. 101 in redraft, taking Chase. Question is that should I take Burrow for the stack at the 2-3 turn, or wait on a quarterback and build some depth? So in a redraft league, I'm less concerned about stacking because I have the opportunity to make and manipulate trades throughout the course of the season. So if I don't get a stack outright in redraft, it's not like that's my only chance to get the stack. In best ball, when I draft my team, I'm done. I don't touch it. It's just my best players hit my lineup each week. That's when it's like, okay, I'm going to take that, I won't say that plus EV correlation, but I'll take the opportunity for potential extra points there now because I'm not going to have an opportunity to later. So I personally wouldn't prioritize Burrow at the 2-3 turn. If he slides to you, great. In fourth, fifth round, I guess I'm not as familiar with Burrow's redraft ADP right now, but I wouldn't prioritize him 2-3 turn. I think you take Chase and you just take best player available then on the 2-3 turn.
Yeah, Burrow's it'd have to be, for me, even 4-5, it'd have to be like a 6 point per passing touchdown league.
Yep.
Maybe then 4-5, but yeah, I'm not looking Burrow at 2-3.
No, I wouldn't either. But Jamar Chase at the 1 is the right choice, I believe. Yes. Take BPA 2-3 turn. I just wouldn't, unless if it's a super flex and your league mates are somehow letting Joe Burrow slide to the end of the second round, which I don't see happening. I would just make sure you get Jamar Chase, best players 2-3 turn. I would, again, like you said, I'd probably go best players available 4-5 as well.
Yep.
I wouldn't worry about prioritizing Burrow just to get the stack when it's not your only opportunity to get Joe Burrow in that league.
Definitely.
We'll go ahead and we'll put a bow on it there. What do we have coming up tomorrow? We're live streaming June 18th. If you're watching this back on YouTube, first and foremost, thanks for watching back on YouTube, even though you didn't get to catch this live stream live. What we got coming out tomorrow? We literally just recorded the show and I already forgot what it was. Wide receivers who could be the next breakout wide receiver 1.
Yes, sir.
That was a fun little episode. I enjoyed that. I
like that one.
Bobby, you got it, man. Absolutely. Thanks for stopping by. Appreciate your support there over on the Mark Zuckerberg app. 7 breakout wide receivers who could be the next breakout wide receiver 1 next year. Had some fun talking just some fun players on that episode.
Yeah.
Like it wasn't all like studs.
No.
We got kind of got yucky into the rookies and making some into the rookies. How many rookies do we talk about? Three different rookies who could be that breakout this year. That was a little bit of fun. So not just talking some big obvious names, got into the spreadsheets, the analytics a little bit. And what I say we have coming up next week, bounce back players and sleepers. That'll be a fun one too. Bounce back and sleepers next week. So make sure you're subscribed here. Turn the notification bell as well. We're going live twice a week. We're doing mock drafts over on Sleeper with our followers every Monday. Mock draft Monday with Cam and Ty. And then on Wednesday, we'll be doing more best ball streams, best ball drafting like we just did here tonight. Anything else you want to add before we fully sign it off here?
No, I think that's it.
Appreciate you hopping on.
Yes, sir.
It's fun to do this. You and I thought a lot more alike in this draft than I anticipated. Yeah. It's fun with the different people I bring on, whether it's like you can form that mind meld pretty quick of like, all right, this is where we're going. This is who we should take. Yeah, or a lot of times I leave it up to the drafter or the person the guest I have on. I'm like, hey, I'm defaulting to you here. You get to call your shot on this one. We'll figure it out from there. And it's just like people who I'm like, interesting. I wouldn't like, they're like maybe fourth on my list here, but we'll go ahead and take them. So this was fun. We'll have to do this at least one more time before season hops on here. So follow our other socials, FF Fellas on Twitter, the FF Fellas on Instagram, Fantasy Football Fellas on Facebook and TikTok. If you want our YouTube shorts as well, Fantasy Football Fellas Shorts. Twitter handle, I'm at Lucas Wencl on X, Camelot FFF for Cameron. If you want all the pretty colors on your best ball drafts, you can see we got Brock Purdy in purple, Drake May in green, Aaron Rodgers in that nice orangey gold color. Look, it correlates with all the people they're stacked up with. You can see the week 15 through 17 matchups, your percentage owned of each players. Look, bestballoverlay.com is the tool you need to download. Use the code FELLAS to sign up. You're going to get $10 off your monthly subscription. It's a 25% discount you're essentially getting by using our code. So go take advantage of that. You can scan the QR code on your screen or visit bestballoverlay.com. Use that promo code fellas. Yes, alrighty. Sir. I think that's all we got. We'll see you tomorrow for our scheduled podcast video. We'll be back with more live streams next week. Till we see you. Stay safe, stay healthy. Deuces.